When we were building our house, we had a very helpful FPL staff who worked with us, and they were great. I think the company is big enough to have some wonderful people working in it, and some folks who are not doing quite so well. And I think what we found of late is that FPL has a credibility problem in terms of reporting the information that we need to know to figure out if we really should be putting 2 more nuclear power plants, 2 more nuclear reactors at Turkey Point. There is proof that Florida Power and Light, from whistleblowers inside the company, has not been correctly reporting customer energy use. We don't see any evidence that Florida Power and Light has been able to change its projections of the growth in energy use in light of the Great Recession. So the question is it time for us to invest $24 billion of our own money in 2 nuclear reactors in the East Everglades? I don't think that case has been made. And until it is, we should not consider putting those lines up US 1.
I'd like to refocus on our questions and where we're headed with the technology here. But I took out of what each of you said, I'd like to ask you specific questions, what solutions are to them. If you don't mind, I would like to start with you again, George. You mentioned legislative incentives for something we needed to achieve in the state. How would you go about doing that, or how do you see us going about that? And what can someone in this room help to achieve those type of goals?
Well,
I'd say it would be easy questions.
Legislative incentives. Well, first let me, I was remiss in not thanking everybody for coming out today. With Earth Day right around the corner, a lot of the discussion that drives clean energy is putting people to work and lowering customer bills, but ultimately it's about reducing global warming emissions and CO2 emissions. And Florida is definitely on the front lines for impacts from sea level rise, as is the Rusty Pelican, and especially South Florida. So it's critically important that we have the policies in place to start to turn the corner, start to mitigate the impacts of climate change. And coincidentally, that also has economic benefits for every one of us. I did want to touch on the barriers real quickly, and then let's talk about the solutions. There's a couple barriers. One of them is education to implementing clean energy, to implementing energy efficiency. There are a lot of folks that simply don't know what the benefits are. And I'm going to stick with energy efficiency just to keep it brief, but don't know what the benefits are of energy efficiency, how it helps reduce their bills, how it mitigates CO2 emissions. There are also a lot of folks that don't understand or rather don't have the financial resources to implement energy efficiency measures. So there's 2 barriers right there that we can cure with the right policy. And let me just real quickly explain what I mean by energy efficiency measures. If you look at the big electricity loads in your home, it's going to be your water heater, your lighting, your AC, and your appliances. So if you want to reduce your load at home, do your own personal part at home, you want to seal any AC duct vent leaks, you want to weatherize you want to weather strip your windows. That will reduce your AC load. If you want to reduce your water heater load, you want to invest in a water heater blanket, low flow shower heads, faucet aerators, really basic measures that can help you save money and reduce your carbon footprint. If you want to reduce your lighting load, change out your incandescent bulbs with CFL bulbs. And additionally, something as simple as cleaning your refrigerator cools can make your refrigerator more efficient. Now, that may not seem like a big deal. It may save you $10 a month. But if everybody does that, that would be very, very, very significant. And there's a lot of potential in Florida for those kind of savings. And we need regulations in place to encourage those kind of savings. And I'll give you an example. 17 states right now have set goals to meet at least 1% of their energy demand through energy efficiency. That's every year. In Florida, the state's largest power companies have been obtaining about 0.2% historically through energy efficiency programs. So there are states and utilities that are getting 5 times the magnitude of energy efficiency from their customers than the state's biggest power companies. So you know, we need regulations in place to encourage energy efficiency. It's kind of counterintuitive for an efficiency to encourage their customers to use less energy. It's like McDonald's encouraging folks to buy less hamburgers. You just don't do that. In addition, it defers power plants off into the future, which is the source of utility revenue. They earn a rate of return on their assets, which are power plants and transmission lines. So I think what we need to do is have regulations in place that encourage energy efficiency and make it as profitable as pursuing power plant construction. And lastly, we also need renewable energy policy in the state and at the federal level that mandates at least the states or the country's largest utilities should get a certain percentage of their electricity from renewable energy. It's called the Renewable Portfolio Standard, Renewable Electricity Standard. It goes by many names. But we need regulations in place like that that will drastically move the clean energy agenda forward.
Thank you. Jane, we were talking about education, how we can change within a generation the mindset of using power in its present form. What are your thoughts about how we can move forward in changing that mindset?
Well, as John, to my left, John said, Dr. John said, one of the challenges is I'm not sure we have a whole generation to work with. I do think that our youngest generation gets it, but needs to see the leadership making a difference. We already know what the potential impacts are. We need to be trying things, and I think programs that educate whole families, maybe getting young people to help whole families learn some of the energy efficiency saving measures in their home that George just mentioned, having challenges, social marketing programs that involve people competing with each other to be the biggest loser, and getting awards for it, making it fun, making it marketing savvy, helping people to save money, making the financing of some of these capital improvements, whether they're weatherizing your home or lighting or whatnot, for both residences and small to medium-sized businesses, more accessible, making that the cost of capital much easier, making the cost of just finding out what it is the best thing that you can do and hiring a contractor to do it. That's got to be easier for people. And the behavioral solutions. So it needs to be wrapped with behavioral. You could save easy 10 to 15% in your home with just behavioral solutions. 25% with low cost, very low cost, nothing you need to finance solution. And then you can get to the 40, 50% with some real investments. And so we can get to a huge impact on reducing our greenhouse gases. Half of our greenhouse gases in South Florida are from building and building-related energy. So we could get a huge impact on just getting people to understand what the impacts are and then making it easier for them to do the right thing and more fun to do it.
Thank you, Jane. David, your question is, where are the trends you're seeing in the renewable energy field? You mentioned several of them that P&L's involvement. What are other trends that you're seeing? And I know that Florida Power Line is working together on the Energy Smart Florida. Can you address both of those questions?
Yeah, I'll try to. Well, first of all, I wanted to talk about a little bit of energy efficiency. Can I talk about a little bit of that? Because what George mentioned earlier was we talked about awareness. We talked about energy efficiency. Energy efficiency really is an important part of it. But if you really think about even the utility and the requirement to build and to supply energy for Florida, energy usage isn't just flat throughout the day. It comes at a peak. So in order for us to provide power for those where it comes at that peak, you can think of it in terms of